The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Ardor SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from the south suburbs of Chicago in Flossmoor, Illinois. We have Vicki Stevenson with EXP. How are you, Vicki?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's the weather up in Chi-Town?
It's cold. It's
cold.
Yeah, it's real cold.
I remember a time, I'm this old. I remember a time when I was a kid, and I'd actually lived in Milwaukee at the time, but close enough. I lived in Milwaukee at the time, and it was like in the early 80s, and it was like one of the coldest winters ever. And Lake Michigan and the canals had icebergs just flowing on through. And I remember thinking as a kid, well, I was actually a teen at this time, I think. I was like, wow, this is ridiculously cold. This is out there. So
absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're staying warm and cozy inside there. So
for now,
yeah, for now.
I got to go clear a walk at a listing shortly.
Oh, God. That's a good time.
Yeah, excitement in real estate.
Find somebody in the area just going around with a shovel like me as a kid. I don't think you find those people anymore. So I'll ask you the same thing I ask everyone when they're on the program. The first question, I mean, were you a child of 5 years old tugging at your parents' pant leg saying, hey, mom, dad, how do I become a realtor? Or are you like the rest of us where we kind of fell back into it?
No, I have one of those children, but I was not one of those children. I kind of fell into this. I actually was an attorney, and I never really practiced as an attorney, but it certainly got me interested in the contract aspect of it and things like that. I was a teacher, and I was always kind of interested in houses. My family liked houses. My grandmother, in fact, in Homewood, which is the neighboring town, way back in the day, bought a house and moved it around the corner to use as an investment property. And that was a single woman, because my grandmother had died, back in the 50s doing that. So that's
right.
That I do have it in my blood a bit, but I certainly didn't know that that's something I wanted to do until much later in life. Then I started getting into, I built a house. I have rented and renovated houses. I have, kind of bought and sold my own houses. And my husband suggested that perhaps instead of spending all of our own money, that I help other people spend their money. And that's how I got into real estate. And then my husband joined me in real estate a couple of years later.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. I tell you this, Vicki, when I've done over 300 of these over the past year, when I hear about the stories of spouses being realtors as well, and boy, I could have a whole show on that. And I think I would probably have more listeners just to hear the dynamic of working together.
There's your spin-off series right there.
Yeah, exactly. I could have a whole lineage just starting at Icons of Real Estate and go on down from there. So I'll be the dog with that bone a little bit, not too much. I won't get into too much detail. But tell me about that. I mean, at night at the dinner table, I mean, is it all stop, no business? Or are you like most couples that work together in real estate, especially, where because our lives are just we're almost 24/7, right? Does that carry over into, the spousal relationship?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's our lives, in the same way that our kids are part of our conversation at all time, it's our lives. We both have things that we excel at in real estate that complement each other. So we don't divide clients up or anything like that, but we do have things that that one is better at than the other, or one has more tolerance for than the other. So, we're always checking in on all of our clients every day together, because we're working together on everything. It's not like, oh, how is your buyer doing? We don't work like that. We did learn that we had to kind of put an end time to it. Like once we got to the couch to turn on the TV, unless it was an emergency, no more shop talk.
Right. It'll drive you crazy.
It was driving us crazy, yes.
Yeah.
So we learned to stop.
You start looking at each other going, will you shut up?
Well, and our kids looking at us like, would you shut
Yeah,
up?
right. I have 4 children and I've been married 32 years, thankfully. And that's everyday life, I mean, if we talk about the same topic multiple times, the kids were always like, oh my God, you guys just seem to go on and on. And now here I am in my 50s and my kids are adults and they're like, you still go on and on. And, well, old habits die hard.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how you started and how you work, as a couple, but tell me about today. So I asked, are you a solopreneur? But you've already told me you do work with your spouse, so that makes a team right there. Is there a bigger team? I mean, or is it the two of you only, or how does that work? How
No.
does it?
Yeah, so that is an easy question with a somewhat complicated answer. We are a domestic team, so it's just the two of us for the most part, but we do have other agents right here in Flossmoor. We do have a little branch office in Flossmoor. So we have other agents that work with us. They're not part of our team. We don't really share clients, but we share a lot of information. So we work together and kind of lift each other up and support each other, which is fantastic when like I want to take a vacation. And then I have people who can back me up. I have people who,
Right.
Can run, we help each other out. So we don't share clients. We're not part of a team. It's not part of our production, but we raise each other up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Support. You always need that support. So we learned a little bit about how you got into the business, obviously what things look like now with the domestic team. And so let's talk about the future a little bit.
Sure.
Put on our prognostication hats, and start our crystal ball and start predicting things. But isn't that what we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
What?
Expected of us.
Isn't that expected of you? Right.
Yeah.
So do it now. So tell me about the future. What does the next 1 year, 3 year, 5 years look like? I guess what's the near term goal, midterm goal, and what's the long term goal for your team or for
Sure.
you and your spouse?
The way our team grew is through authentically wanting to help our community. So, our whole focus is Homewood and Flossmoor. We do probably around 50 deals a year, 15 million a year, and 90% of that is within Homewood and Flossmoor, which is an 8 square mile area. So,
Wow.
yeah, we're kind of hyper local. We like to keep everything local, and the reason we do that is because we have a true dedication to our community. So, I've never been particularly numbers goal driven, which would make some people crazy. I am goal driven in the sense of wanting to help as many people as I can authentically. So I don't like just to get people to pad numbers and throw them into houses. I really like to work, with the families I'm working with. And so our goal is always kind of that. Our goal is to grow our business so that we can help as many people as we can. And, we just came off of, as you well know, like the craziest market ever. So what does the next 1 to 3 to 5 years look like? None of us know, but the basics are all the same, right? It's all the same thing. It's all, somebody wants a house to live in and somebody needs to sell a house, and getting them to a mutually agreeable solution on that, where people are walking away happy or content, at least, because those are the deals that close. So that is our whole goal, is to continue to work with whatever market we're given to help the people in our community, or coming into our community, with whatever real estate needs they have.
Perfect. Talk a little bit about as opposed to people moving within the community. Who's moving into the community? I mean,
Sure.
tell me about your area. I guess brag about your area a little bit.
Right. Well, gosh, I mean, you gave me a time limit, so I'll just say that
No, we got
it
all
is a
day.
lovely place to live. We are an easy commute into not only the city of Chicago, but very easy commute to the University of Chicago. So a lot of the people that we're getting that are moving from, beyond this area are looking because they have some sort of connection to the university or to downtown Chicago. They're looking for a place that they can, that has a lot of open space, a lot of trees, walkability, all those things that draw people out of cities into the suburbs, and then the ease of commuting wherever it is they need to go. Certainly with the pandemic, we saw a flood of people coming out of the city and into the suburbs, because you get a lot for your money here. Our suburbs are pretty reasonably priced compared to some of the western and northern suburbs. And so you get good bang for your buck, and a relatively easy commute. So you get people who had condos in Hyde Park or the city, selling them for more than they're buying a 4 to 5 bedroom house out in Flossmoor. That's a good part of our community is based on those people, and we do have an awful lot of within the town moves too, either upsizing or downsizing, moving to be closer to their kids or to closer to their parents. So there's a lot of that. We have a surprising number of people who, they move away after school and then they have kids and they decide to come back.
Right. So you got a lot of what I call retransplants or reschool. And I know exactly what that feels like. With having 4 sons that did something similar. But okay, that sounds like a wonderful area, and I see why people having lived in Chicago myself, I totally get it. So let's change routes just a little bit. Sure. We all go through hurdles, right? We all have hurdles to overcome. So you have a sounds like a fantastic community that you're listing and selling in. But what are some of the hurdles that you have to overcome besides enough time? Because I know that's the first thing you were thinking. I never have enough time. What would be the second hurdle that maybe that if I had a magic wand, let's say, Vicki, and I could go, problem gone. I hate to say problem. It's never necessarily a problem. It's just a hurdle. What would that be?
Well, I would say right now our hurdle is getting people to realize that the market has shifted a bit. And as a seller, it's a hard pill to swallow, but my neighbor sold their house in 2021 for this. And it's like, I'm sorry we are no longer in 2021.
Right.
And the same is true with buyers, really. That's with the rates, they're like, but gosh, my now I'm paying so much more, and maybe I should wait, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. And the truth of the matter is that I've been in the business long enough to know that what we're doing is normalizing. People who were, who are buyers and sellers who, real estate didn't really come into their thought process until recently, think that it's not just a normalization, it's something very dramatically different. And so it's managing expectations, I think, is probably one of my hardest things. And of course, I want to sell every house for as much as possible too. And I want buyers to get every house they want for, the best price and certainly the best rates that they can too. But we got to manage expectations, and that's tricky.
Yeah, that is tricky, especially in such a different market than just a year ago. People's minds are very, I say malleable, they can bend in how they think. And if you had a time machine and you go back to 2021, I'd take that same time machine and take the other person that wants a better interest rate, take them to 1984 and say, well, here's 17%.
Right. Exactly.
So, and people were buying houses in 1984. So, it's all relative, but that's good advice. I'm going to put that on your thumbnail, managing expectations for sure. Vicki, how would someone get in touch with you, whether they wanted to buy, sell, or maybe talk about the area at all?
Sure. And I love talking to other agents too. I'm all about, trying to share, anything I can. I am not among the competitive types that, want to keep on there are no secrets. There's just, experience. And so I'm always happy to share. So, my email is Vicki, Vicki at hf-homes.com. And, I'm always available by email. Phone number, if you wanted to reach out, 251-1500 goes to both my husband and I, or to voicemail if we're both busy. But we're always happy to get a hold of people. And, we're on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Perfect. So this is a little bit of a curveball, not too much,
Go ahead.
but I always say, as I said at the top, you're the hit record, I'm the DJ, you're the star of this show. So take us out with, a minute or two of thoughts that you think, you should share with the audience, whatever's on your mind, your heart, your soul. It could be about work. It could be about, your spouse, your pet dog, whatever it might be. Just share something with us you think everybody should be thinking about.
I think kindness. I think kindness, and with my spouse, with my dog, but with your clients and with your clients thinking about how the other side is looking at things. I always encourage people to approach everything with kindness. And I think most people come out of any situation happier if they go in approaching it with kindness and approaching it with the thought that the other people have kindness as well. And I truly think that's the secret to success in most of life.
Perfect. Vicki, I bet your spouse loved hearing that as well. Yes, kindness, Vicki. Kindness.
Yes, occasionally he would suggest more kindness.
There you go. Vicki Stevenson, eXp Realty, Flossmoor, Illinois. Thank you so much for being on the program. I look forward to catching up with you over the next 3, 6, 9 months and seeing how things are going then.
All right. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, and have a great end of the week and weekend.
Yes, you too.